Hello everybody and welcome to Reviews That Don't Matter with Jessica Hitt. My name is Jessica Hitt and today we are continuing March Marvel Madness with the Avengers, the culmination of all of Phase 1 into this one movie. Here we go. I mean, how do you not love the Avengers? Genuinely, it's one of the best Marvel films out there today, even though it's been several years and many movies have come since. I think that it just has so much gravity when you've been waiting so long to see all of these characters finally get together and meet and see what their team dynamic is going to be. And I think they also did it in a really realistic way in that they don't really get along, but they set aside all of their differences to go out there and do what's right and what they're meant to be doing. Also, this is the very beginning. It's where the seed is planted for the Iron Man versus Captain America whole thing is coming from. I think that it's done beautifully. I mean, the chemistry between those two actors, Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr., are really fantastic, and they played off really well to where they sort of see where each of them is coming from, but there's like these things that, like, obviously Captain America, he has this idea of Tony's father and that he should be like him, and then he meets Tony and he's not anything like that, and then Tony has this guy that his father was just talking always about and probably felt a lot of resentment towards him growing up, and now he has to fight alongside this guy. I just think that it's a really interesting dynamic that they set up, and I'm really glad that they did. We also get the greatest Marvel villain probably so far. I mean, we haven't seen much of Thanos as of yet, and so I'm going with Loki. We've already met Loki in Thor, the first one. Of course, he betrayed his brother, and he has escaped to Earth to where he wants to rule it, or something. I don't know. He's getting help from Thanos, I think is what it is, and then they put like the Tesseract's Infinity Stone power in his little like staff, and he can mind control people. I'm assuming it's the Mind Stone. I don't remember exactly all of the names of the stones or which ones are used in certain things. This is the first time that we really get into the meat of all of the Infinity Stones. That's where it's bringing us, which is also why we get the first clues to Thanos being the big bad of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. And they do a really good job at kind of piquing our interest into that, and then also throughout the subsequent films placing the Infinity Stones in places to where we start to know what each of them does, as opposed to it kind of like a whole bunch being in one movie and then just being like a shit show. So you bring Thor into the mix with Captain America and Iron Man, and they have that really great fight that I really enjoyed. And I am personally not a big fan of superheroes fighting superheroes. I think it's kind of a waste of money. I think it can work, but it doesn't always work, and I don't know, it bugs me for some reason, I don't know. But in this case, I think it worked because this is one of the first times, well, it is the first time they meet Thor, but this is really a lot of that tension coming to head, and they, you know, they worked so hard to get Loki, and then Thor takes him because that's his brother and he's gonna bring him back to Asgard. Doesn't work like that here on Earth, you know? But you see Iron Man and Thor going at it, and then Captain America jumps in the middle. He stops Thor straight in his tracks with his shield going on the hammer, and that is a great scene. You get them finally all together. You have also Bruce Banner, played by Mark Ruffalo, as the Hulk, and I am not a fan of the Hulk. He is probably my least favorite superhero. I don't think they've ever done him justice in any movies or anything, until Mark Ruffalo took the mantle of this character, and I think he did a great job. Those are the four main Avengers in our story, and then you get, of course, the two SHIELD agents of Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff, played by Scarlett Johansson, and then you get Hawkeye, played by Jeremy Renner, who takes a back seat in this movie, but still gives us enough to where he's likable, because you like barely see him in Thor. That was his first cameo. Black Widow got Iron Man 2. He's, you know, the least favorite of the Avengers until maybe later on where he might step it up a little bit. I think they're two really good additions because they don't have superpowers. It's all about how they trained and how they go out there and fight these things. And I really like Hawkeye and Black Widow, and I like their chemistry too of being friends and nothing more. I really appreciate storylines like that where it's like they have the chemistry to where they could put them in that sort of box of being in the relationship in the movie, and they don't. And that's also the thing I really like about the Avengers in general, is the biggest romance in it is between Pepper Potts and Tony Stark, and Pepper Potts is barely in it. Gwyneth Paltrow only has like 2 scenes, I think, 3 scenes maybe. And I think that really works for this movie, especially when you have so many superheroes all with their different storylines coming in for this. This was the first superhero movie that has put together a team like this, and I don't count the X-Men because the X-Men is obviously, it's a team, you know? That was kind of their thing from the start, but this is a cinematic universe. One of the first ones to ever really do this, the one that started the whole trend of having a cinematic universe and doing crossovers and stuff like that. And now Marvel did it so seamlessly that it's just like, it makes it look like the easiest thing possible. And now you look at other different studios trying to do this and it's not as seamless and it's not as easy as Marvel makes it look. But I think that they did a great job. They put together a movie that made you care about each one of its heroes as well as the villain, which rarely happens. I think that it just added a lot to the lore and mythology. It made you could not wait to see Phase 2 and to go into Avengers 2, which ended up being Age of Ultron. And it was the first real superhero to just catch on to a lot of people. It was actually, I had seen a lot of superhero movies, but I never got fully like taken in by the genre until Avengers. I saw that and I'm like, I'm so hooked. I had to learn everything about this world. And now I'm obsessed with superheroes, and it's all because of the Avengers and Joss Whedon, you know, doing a great job at that. This really is just a great film that's not just superhero. I think it's just, in general, a great film. Plus, I love how they did their actual, like, mid-credits end scene, but then they added that one about shawarma in. That was really, I felt just like, it probably wasn't meant to be, but it was really trolling all of us that just sat there waiting for the very end, and then you get that little bit. It's kind of what they did, like the Howard the Duck thing for Guardians of the Galaxy. Didn't really mean anything, doesn't mean Howard the Duck's gonna be in it. But now it's totally canon, you know? The Avengers love shawarma. Okay, I give this movie an A, solid A, not an A+, because it's not my favorite of the Marvel, but it's up there. It's definitely up there. I think that now that they're adding more and more characters, it can get really convoluted. I think Marvel still does it really well, but this is the one where it was like peak Marvel in my opinion. Which a lot of people would say probably later on is going to be peak Marvel, but I really, really enjoy it. I really do. Okay everybody, that is my review of The Avengers. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below, is this your favorite of the Marvel? Is it your least favorite? I don't know why it would be, but it's probably someone's. Just comment something down below. Also subscribe. All through the month of March, I'm doing March Marvel Madness, where I come out with a new Marvel movie review Monday through Friday this whole month. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so that way you are notified of when I upload, because sometimes I skip a day. Anyway, bye!